Hey everyone, Tally back here. And so I just finished, I hope. It's hard to say. I've written so much on my series of books. I want to release them. I want to get them edited, get them ready to just be out, because there's so much wisdom contained in there of honestly just my personal dumping of this journey, hoping that, you know what, maybe somebody somewhere out there can help somebody somewhere, but it's been frustrating for me because, I do have material needs, and I started this path of writing these books almost a year ago when I was getting ready to go meet my twin physically. And suddenly I had to isolate big time to do it. And we had recently broken up and gotten back together. And he frustrated me so much because there was just this huge dissonance I was feeling between what I perceived was him and what he kept showing me, which seemed to be someone completely different. And this is when I later realized that there's a huge difference between seeing the higher self of the individual and the actual human self of the individual. So that's actually, I think, where Samba wants to go today with this particular little message. Needing you, okay? Because one of the things I've struggled to find some resolution on is, what does it really mean to love the self? What does it really mean to need somebody else? Because they almost seem like two completely different concepts. Because we have people in the spiritual community particularly always telling us, well, you need to love yourself. If you're not in union with your twin, it's because you don't love yourself. If your life is going to shit, it means you don't love yourself. If you have all these things going on, it means you don't love yourself. At a certain point, you ask the question, kind of like raising your own vibration, these nebulous concepts, what do they mean? What does it really mean to love yourself? And this is part of when I came to the understanding that there's positive love and negative love. But to what does it mean then? If we're supposed to be on this twin flame journey, it's supposed to be about loving ourselves, but yet we all have this intense need. Oh my gosh, it's almost like a need for food, a need for water, a need for the twin. Why? If we love ourselves so much, and that's really the only purpose of the twin flame journey, why do we keep finding ourselves in this state of need? So then people, I consider myself a shadow worker now because I've gone deep into my personal shadow and have been working on it. So if the only purpose of the twin flame is for you to keep going and hitting your shadows, finding out deeper and deeper levels of stuff that you need to work on, then at some point it would seem like the bank of that is going to get exhausted, because you're just a human. You only have so much life experience in this lifetime. You only have so much karma built up from other lifetimes. And honestly, there's only so much that you can do in a relatively short period of time. So is that the purpose of the twin, is to just put us into this state of purgatory where we're constantly having to deal with all of this stuff and we don't ever get any happiness? I mean, really, what is the point? So, is that the only thing that's really driving this intense need, this intense longing to be in union? So, is it a what's that word? Misnomer? Yeah, I don't know if that's the correct word. Anyways, a misunderstanding. I missed something. That says we need to love ourselves, we need to do all this shadow work. Don't get me wrong, those concepts are very important, but the question I'm trying to get at here is, does it end? And if it ends, why? When? What can end it? Well, okay, about a month ago, I've really been trying for the past few months to just separate from my twin. He has his own stuff that he's working on. And he hurt me really bad. Really bad. It was the classic narcissist and in someone that needed to be codependent. He preyed on me. And I finally had to admit that. I finally had to admit how hurt I was by that. At the same time, though, I was asking myself, well, where does this fall in shadow work? Where does this fall in me accepting responsibility for myself? Then there's the whole thing of I have to realize that all relationships are about a dance between two people. Anyways, this has a potential to get very convoluted really quickly, because I can't really discuss all of these paths in such a short period of time, and I don't even completely understand it myself. I think that's what these books are supposed to be about. I can't release them until this whole story is told, until I've woven together all these different threads and I have come to a basic understanding of what this journey is about. The journey of the twin, or the journey to find the self. A kind of good and scary concept, though, that I came up with today is I kept asking myself this question: why do I need to? Oh yeah, need you. I'm speaking to Samba. That's what I was gonna say with. So a couple months ago, I guess, I reached out to my twin because he's had me blocked on social media for several months while he's been going through what everyone else calls a karmic relationship. And I don't really want to get into my feelings on this particular relationship right now. But I reached out to him because at this point, I thought I was pregnant. It had finally occurred to me that that's probably what was going on with me. And my entire world was crashing down. And I had to reach out to the only person who was in essence responsible for my state of being. And I needed him to accept his responsibility as a father. Or at the very least, just comfort me through this process. But I could not stand being cut off anymore. I had to know, at the very least, just to have some resolution so I could move forward, recreate my life, and just understand that I lost, cut my losses, and move on. So I reached out to him and I poured everything out to him. I call it my "please, I need you" messages on Facebook. Well, it worked. I got him back to talking to me for a few days, which was great, because I hadn't talked to him in a few days. But then he turned right around and blocked me again, saying some really horrid things to me. My sister, watching it, said she felt like she was watching a murder because of all the people that were coming against me, telling me how horrible I was for breaking up him and his girlfriend, when that wasn't even my intent. From the very beginning, all I ever wanted was closure and resolution, because he dumped me and went right into this other woman's arms, and I am left just like completely, wow. But twin flames, you'll understand this. It's like it does not seem to matter what happens, how much pain you end up going through. For some reason, you keep finding it in your heart to move on and to keep trying and trying to build another bridge. So for me, being me, I get tired of these things. Going really deep into my shadow work, being a shadow worker now, I'm looking for patterns, and I'm merciless with looking for these patterns. So the question is, why in the world am I torturing myself? Why am I in like this state of purgatory where I can't be happy and I'm just always sad? In essence, is this like a living hell? Because it kind of feels that way without all the fire. Well, yeah, there could be fire, especially with the way those people shot stuff at me. My point is, I finally admitted to Samba today, I need my twin. There is nothing else I can come to understand this. There's no other shadow that I can see that I need to uncover. There's no other avenue for loving myself that, isn't just going to be resolved in time. No other avenue for building myself up that won't be resolved in time. There's nothing else I can do in this present moment other than working on the ministry that I'm doing now and cleaning up all these other things, rebuilding, finding this new self-identity. And I just want to move on, but I finally realized today, I need you. Why do I need you? It goes against self-love. It goes against independence. Whatever. But I finally realized what it comes down to. And it seems like it's been staring me in the face all this time. And it seems really banal. But here it is. And you probably won't like this because it's not fluffy or spiritual. It really comes down to the animal drive, the animal instinct for procreation and mating. And finding that life mate. Now, why is it so banal? Because guess what? As much as these spiritual people want to believe that we need to love ourselves, or like a lot of feminists now want to believe that they don't need men, well, guess what? Biologically, we do. Biologically, there has to be a masculine and a feminine energy to create children. And it's that simple. Why do I need my twin? Because we are patterning a new way of learning to love. And to need him keeps me going when I really just want to give up. So at the end of the day, it comes down to a very biological need for procreation. And that's what keeps me going. So then I realized, it's that whole thing of passing on your genes, leaving your legacy. Well, I have a daughter. I've already passed on my genes. But then I realized that I had not passed on my recent genes that are gene pool. And